Welcome once again to another episode of Aspiring Creator. And I didn't think I had much to say this week because it's been a very busy week. And we've just come back from a press trip, which I'm not allowed to talk about. Yeah, it's one of those weird things where, well, I'll talk about it very, very briefly. But basically, this is a great press trip because it was a possibility to get my hands on some new devices way in advance of when they're going to come out. And this is such a thing that I think brands should consider doing a lot more because rather than rushing to, you go on the press trip, you get given the device whilst you're there, then the launch is like whilst the event is going on, and then you're rushing to get your reviews out and formulate an opinion and those kind of things. I now have some, which you can't see in the photos, so that's good. I now have some new devices, which I'll be able to talk about at a later point in time. I'm just going to leave it at that. But it was a really great trip. It was a fleeting visit to Amsterdam. We spent 2 days there. And yeah, it was great fun. And that's all I'm allowed to say. I hate when people do that. But it's just, yeah, that's the life we live in. So on the list for this week, again, no order. This is just like the random order I've written it down on. Uploading to a YouTube podcast. So I actually tried to upload this podcast to YouTube because the system I'm using. So I'm using Spotify for Creators, which goes through Riverside, which then creates all the video and the audio and all that kind of stuff, and pushes it out to all the various podcast platforms. Now, I tried adding the RSS feed into YouTube podcasts on my main channel, and it basically pulled in all my old podcast episodes. And I think I said this last week. I feel like this is like deja vu. That suddenly I had like 10 videos posted on my channel, and all of them were like 0 out of 10s for performance because they had no views, and it just kind of ruined, decimated my statistics on YouTube Studio. So very, very quickly remove that. So I have now created a separate YouTube channel, completely separate YouTube channel for the Aspiring Creator podcast. I've then created a podcast within that channel, if that makes sense, because you have to kind of create a podcast. And I'm in the process of uploading all of the old episodes, and this episode will go up and be one of the relatively new episodes that goes up on there as well. I haven't really put much effort or time into this. Again, this is more of a case of just like getting the information out there. I've got some artwork. I spend a little bit of time doing some timestamps just so you got a bit of an idea of what's going on. But that aside, I don't do thumbnails. Maybe I should do at some point in the future. I don't really do no scripting, no effort whatsoever. This is just a way of getting some information out there. So that will be coming. And I believe when I put it onto YouTube, onto the YouTube channel as a podcast, that should then come through onto YouTube Music. Because I know one or two people have been asking about YouTube podcasts for that sort of thing. So that will happen next. Upload schedule for the next few weeks. We've got a few trips coming up. So this is something I keep going forward and back on because it's trying to figure out what content do I make, short form, long form, how many shorts, how many longs, and all those kind of things. And problem is that we have one more press trip coming up before the end of the year. And then as soon as January hits, it's CES. And there isn't any time really and I want 2 weeks off for Christmas and New Year's and those kind of things to spend time with the kids and family. So it's really trying to squeeze as much as we can into the days that we are working. And, I'm still very much like a 4-day-a-weeker. I don't work Friday still. And generally speaking, it's Monday and Tuesdays I'll shoot the long form. And then Wednesday, Thursdays I'll do the other stuff. However, with the schedule we've got coming up, it's going to look like we're going to have to shoot 2 long form videos every week for the next 3 weeks essentially, because that will then clear us through for Christmas and New Year's. Also gives us some space so we can actually put out a video for the week I'm also going to be traveling for in 2 weeks' time. There's a press trip to Dubai coming up, which is amazing because I love Dubai. Any excuse to go over there is great. And yeah, it's going to be it's challenging, and this kind of leads on to the CES discussion as well, because CES is January the 5th. I think I fly over there, and we fly back January the 10th. So we've got 5 days out there. And it's super late pitching to brands. We've been reaching out to brands for a couple of months or so. Most of them have come back saying, "Oh, we're going to be there, but I'm not sure what we're doing, and not sure what we're up to." And it's one of those frustrating things as a content creator, because these brands are paid tens, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds to be at CES. So they've spent a lot of money to be there. And I am of the opinion, I believe, that it doesn't feel like to me most brands will get a return from the stand that's there. Just their presence being there isn't going to give them a return. However, the coverage from social media content creators and YouTubers and influencers and blog writers, just general media that is going to be there. That I feel is like the opportunity where they can get like coverage and, you know, interest from people. And so we've been pitching brands for ages. You know, we're out there, we can cover you whilst we're there. We can shoot some videos for you, shoot some short form content or some long form content, and, you know, trying to just basically find a way where we can cover the trip, you know, at least cover the trip expenses. Also, we, you know, obviously want to make a profit so we can actually go out there and make money, because this is the whole thing with the press trips. You know, don't get me wrong, incredible, amazing experiences, so much fun, love it. It's part of the job. It's incredible. However, when I'm having a week out to do a press trip, I cannot then earn money because I'm not then shooting a video and making a video that week that will typically have a sponsor in that video to obviously make money. So we're going out to CES with the idea, so it's going to be me and my videographer, and going out there to essentially cover our costs. So we need to pay, you know, at least pay for our flights and our hotels that we've already booked. So that's, you know, we need to get that covered, and that's a few grand already. And then looking to essentially earn what we would have earned as if we just stayed home and didn't go on the trip. So that's making sure we get at least, you know, enough money's worth from a single long form videos integration. There's different ways we're trying to package it up, whether we do multiple shorts or longs or shorter shorts or rather longer shorts, if that makes sense. But it's frustrating that it's getting, you know, we're almost in December now, December in a few days, and still brands don't really know what they're doing. So we'll see. We're still going to reach out. We're still pitching. Like I said, my agent is also pitching for CES, as we're kind of doing this together with the brands that I know and the brands that they've got connections with. And, you know, so we'll see what comes in the next few days, next few weeks. Hopefully we can figure something out, because in very, very worst case, we will cancel our flights and hotels and everything, because there's no point in going to CES if we're going to then technically lose out money. You know, it's quite a significant sum to lose out. We're going to lose the integration from a sponsored video that week, as well as all the costs for the flights and hotels and everything else. I really want to go though, because CES is such a good place to go to. It was so much fun. There's so much cool tech going on there. And it's full of creators. So it's actually one of those times where even though we're all busy running around and rushing and going to shoot content and things, it's still such a great opportunity to catch up with them in the evenings and, you know, sit down and have some dinner with a lot of people out there as well. So we're hoping to, there's a little like tech group of us. We're in this like WhatsApp group. We're hoping to, you know, all of us currently are planning to go. We're hoping to catch up and have a dinner together and maybe go out for a steak or something. That was, really cool last year. And then look, I threw this one in here because it was a big part of my this previous week, even though it's kind of outside of the realms of the YouTube space. So it's to do with my IT work. So I've been I need to be careful about the information I give out here. I've been volunteering somewhere for the last couple of years because someone needed my help. Someone needed some help in terms of like how to, you know, IT strategy and those kind of things. And we finally got through to the stage of like, let's assess the current IT provider. Let's go out and look for some other, other companies that could support your business, and got quotes from everybody, and loads of people quoted back. And one of the quotes came back, the quote that came back from the existing IT company was really, really rude, like beyond rude, personally rude, like at me. And this is the thing, like when I was running an IT company, I know, you know, one of our clients brought in an external consultant, and we didn't like them either because, you know, they're just here to pick apart our business and find problems and those kind of things. And I felt at that time that he was very unreasonably picking apart things in our business. Like, you know, it was to the stage of asking for copies of invoices, and then going back on when we'd agreed to do something for a fixed fee, he would then go, I don't think you should charge that for a fixed fee. I think it would have taken a lot less. So we're actually going to pay for this one on a pay and go basis. Even though we've like done the work, it's been agreed, they've signed the quote, like everything's been done. And so he was just causing loads of problems like that. Now, I'm not doing that. I'm basically kind of coming along here and just going, hey, can you just tell me about your backup solution? Have you tested it? You know, cybersecurity, remote access solution, like what's going on? Like tell us a bit about it. And all of the answers I've had are like way, way up there on like red flags. The backup solution is very much well, I mean, that doesn't really apply to this kind of business. You know, we back up this particular type of business over here, and we tested that, and that works. So therefore, your business is also fine because, you know, we tested it over there. And I went, okay, well, can we actually do a test? Oh, well, if you actually want to do a proper test, we're going to have to wipe all your server, which would take you out for a day or two, you know, whilst we're restoring things, and restore stuff to it. And I was like, as a test, you want to wipe the only working known copy of the data to see if it works. And what if it doesn't work? Then you've just wiped the only working known copy of data. And it was just ridiculous. There were so many red flags. And the crux of the matter is, finally got into a meeting with the customer that asked me to help them, and sat down, and there was 3 or 4 of us in the room, all of them non-technical people, not very limited IT knowledge, and I was like the only one really in the room. And the way that the existing company had written their proposal basically tried to say that I didn't know what I was talking about. So it was kind of their word versus my word and all this kind of stuff. And I was just like, oh, well, look, there's obviously a conflict. Let's get someone else in that obviously can provide another independent opinion, because that's nothing, who are you to know any different? But they literally turned around and said, look, can you just, for a minute, just forget your experience, forget your knowledge. We've been really happy with the day-to-day support. So can you just forget all the stuff you know for a minute, and just, can you see, why we think we're happy with who we've got now, and maybe we should, we're just going to stick with who we've got. We're going to cancel this whole proposal and the things from all the other companies, and we're just going to, we're quite happy. Oh, you've literally got me here for my experience and my knowledge and my everything that I know about IT and tech, and now you're asking me to forget it and then provide you with an answer and some some help. And it's just it was very clear to me that for whatever reason, there was just absolutely 0 point in me being there. And I very, very quickly came to the realization during that meeting that I was like, okay, well, this is how things are going. So I don't want to be here anymore. I've given up 2 years of my time to be here. I have 0 to get out of this role that I was in. I've not got any financial gain. And I don't even know any of the companies we're working with. So it's not like I've got a personal connection to any of the companies that, I'm trying to win them business or anything. There's just absolute 0 gain. And it's one of these situations where there's challenges. Obviously, cybersecurity is huge at the moment. There's so many more people getting hacked. Even in the YouTube world, people are, YouTubers getting hacked and their accounts taken away. But in the business world, it's massive. People are getting hacked all the time. And for companies to be so blasé about it's never happened to us before though, so I think we're probably going to be fine. And you can only do so much. So I just I sent my resignation in a few days ago, and I just said, look, here is my assessment. Even if you choose to ignore it, this is my assessment, and here's my recommendation. You need to go find someone else to go get some advice. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm out, because you have 0 interest in listening to what I've got to say. Therefore, I'm checked out. And this this to me was very much just reminding me of the whole, I've got this YouTube business and I enjoy doing the YouTube business. Everyone that I know is in the YouTube world enjoys doing the YouTube world of business. And, even though it is challenging, it's challenging finding sponsorships. It's still challenging, like any business, bringing the money in and doing all that kind of business side of things. But fundamentally, it is fun. Again, in what world do you get sent on press trips and, fully comped flights, hotels, all those kind of things, given tech, given products that your job is to then review that product and make a video, if you choose to make a video about it. And this is, our strategy is we look at the products and go, is it worth making a video about this? Or is there a good angle to make a video on this particular product? And that's fun. I love doing that. It's just it's brilliant. Again, has its challenges, but it's fun. And I just kind of went through that process and went, this is really not fun anymore. This sucks. I'm sat in a room with people that weirdly wanted me there, and then all of a sudden don't really seem to listen to what I'm saying. So I was just, I just checked out and quit. I quit. That's going to be the title of the podcast video, On Quitting, or I Quit. Next thing is touch on that as well. So whilst I was in Amsterdam, one of the guys there as well had a Pixel Fold, one of the new Pixel 9 Pro Folds with him. And I just looked at it again. I went, I really, and Black Friday right now, today's Black Friday, I really, really want to buy a Pixel Fold, a Pixel 9 Pro Fold again. I actually sent mine back because I kind of did my time with it. I reviewed the Pixel 9 Pro XL. I made a video on that one. I didn't think at the time the Pixel 9 Pro Fold would be worth making a video on. It's one of these things where, personally, I think the Pixel 9 Pro Fold is a really cool phone. I love it. I love the foldable extra screen. Just camera's slightly lacking on it, admittedly, but as a foldable phone, I actually really like the software on it's great. That whole package is really, really good. But every time we've done the research, there's just not much interest in those kind of devices. Most people are probably not going to spend 12, 15, 18, 2 grand on a phone, a foldable phone, that's probably, going to have many questions to ask about its durability after a year old, 2 years old, repairability, cost to do any of that, support, the warranty, kind of just all of that kind of warranty part of owning the device. And because it's so expensive, there's a much smaller percent of the market. It's a very expensive phone, it's a foldable phone, so already your market is diminishing into this very, very small subset of people that would be the target market for that. And so, I saw it again this week at the event, and kind of was talking to myself into trying to buy it again. And there's Black Friday discounts right now, so it's like £1,400 rather than like £1,800 or something. I'm so tempted to go and buy one because I personally really want to use that one. However, then logically thinking about this, my process at the moment is I'm carrying around an iPhone, so I can show that because I'm allowed to. So I'm carrying around an iPhone. I'm actually testing the Mr. Mobile's Clicks case on it right now. So I've had this on for like 3 or 4 days, which is like a BlackBerry type keyboard that fits into your iPhone. It's very, very unique. I like it because it's very unique. I'm just trying to get used to having a keyboard, and so that's going to happen at some point. But that's not going to be a video. So the reason why that came up is that when I ran some SEO tools on our website, it then identified some low-hanging fruit, some areas where we could get some traffic with not much effort. And Clicks literally just naturally came up. I'm not told it to look at anything to do with Clicks. It just came up and said, you do iPhone content. Clicks is also getting some interest, but not many people are covering Clicks. So, hey, here's an opportunity. So, literally went and bought, I think it's over £100 for one of those Clicks cases. And, going to give it a good try and see how it goes with that. But it's finding that subset of market. So always carrying an iPhone around, and then always carrying an Android phone around of some form. And that's always been the S24 Ultra. Thankfully now, because of this trip we've been on, I now get to daily drive a different phone for a little bit. I'm not going to say anything more. I guess daily drive a different Android phone for a while, which is one I'm really, really excited to test out and use properly. So I'll be using that throughout Christmas and everything. And then it means that when the S25 Ultra drops in probably January or February, that's the normal time it would drop, then I get to switch over to that one. So I'm trying to line up the Android phones without having to like switch every other week, because it does get a bit exhausting to every week. So I was on the Nothing phone 2A Plus before the glow in the dark edition, which was fun to use, and then literally the next week different phone, next week back to the S24 Ultra, next week back onto the new phone here. So it's nice just to go, okay, I've got this for the next month or two, and then I've got the S24 Ultra, S25 Ultra launch, and I'll have that for a long time as well. And so there is no space capacity there for a Pixel Fold. There's no capacity for me to use the Pixel Fold within that. Let alone make a video about it. So that's been my approach, and reminding myself that I don't need to spend £1,400 on a Pixel Fold, even though I personally really want to use it and I enjoy using it. Again, it's like that whole kind of part of the job is to review phones, and so we have to kind of move on at times, even though we kind of don't want to. So there's that one. 2 more things. We might actually do this in 20. No, it's 18 minutes. It's not going to go in 20 minutes. 2 more things. Helping. I was having a long chat with somebody on Discord just about trying to give them a hand with. They're asking me about my first year numbers and how much of that was coaching and how much of it was YouTube revenue and how my growth and sponsorships and all these kind of things. And I might actually see if I can bring it up, because it is potentially interesting information for those of you who are starting and very early on in your journeys. So I keep a spreadsheet, and I've always kept a spreadsheet from day one of starting this whole YouTube thing, from literally from May 2020, when I first started properly focusing on YouTube, let's call it. And in May of 2020, I was at 1,400 subscribers. I earned £154 in YouTube AdSense. And that was all I earned that month because I just sold my IT company. So this was very much, and COVID, and I was just stuck at home. So that was literally the first month. The June 2020, I was 1,700 subscribers, £148 in AdSense, so slightly less, but then £150 in affiliates. So suddenly we could doubled our money. So it's £300 that month. And then the following month, there was similar numbers for AdSense and affiliates. We were at 2,000 subscribers, and then jumped up to £630 that month, because actually I started doing some kind of one-to-one coaching with people on the IT side of things. And then it's really just scaled from there. And so at the end of, let's go with March 2021, so I was at 9,000 subscribers, and I was earning at the time £16,500. And the breakdown of that was, it's crazy actually looking at this now, for 9,000 subscribers, it was £800 for AdSense, £5,000 for affiliates. And this is where our like password managers and VPNs and cloud storage videos like really took off on YouTube, even though we were like tiny subscriber numbers. Yeah, $5,000 in affiliate revenue, which is just absolutely crazy. There was $1,000 for consultancy. There was £700 for sponsorships, because I managed to secure some sponsorships at that stage. And then there was like $6,000 on MSP coaching. So you could strip back the MSP coaching and it's still like a $10,000 a month type job, which was, crazy for 9,000 subscribers. And then let's just go to, what should we do? 34,000 subscribers. So 34,000 subscribers. This was like a year later. So this is March 2022 now. We were doing £23,000 worth of revenue a month. And that was mostly YouTube at the time. So that was, let's run through the numbers. $2,000 in AdSense, $6,000 in affiliates, $1,200 for consultancy, $7,500 for sponsorships, £4,700 for MSP coaching, and a couple of course sales and those kind of things. And that's really, so towards that time is when I started scaling down the MSP coaching, because I'm starting to realize, YouTube earns more money than the coaching does for less effort and less time. So YouTube's vastly more scalable. One-to-one coaching, not scalable, consumes a lot of time, and essentially is selling time for money. So I started scaling that back down. But I thought those numbers might be useful for those of you who are either interested or maybe on your own journeys and, maybe need to have some form of comparison. What I will say, big caveat there, is that this was during COVID. So I was, I guess, very fortunate in terms of timing, because COVID, everyone was stuck at home. So loads of people were watching YouTube. And for some reason, it's the time of the right time when everyone decided to go and buy password managers and sign up for loads of online services, because we were all stuck at home, I guess, and had nothing better to do than use our computers and laptops and phones and things. But it didn't feel like a wave at the time. It's one of these things where you just, cool, we've done well this month. This is normal. This must be how YouTubers feel. But it was very much a wave. And so for example, our affiliates. So, we were earning like $5,000 a month from affiliates very, very early on. And in 2024, we are currently earning $4,000 a month, $4,500 a month, £4,400 a month. So affiliates have been very, very steadily just still around. I mean, they've declined technically a little bit, but they've been very steady across the board, about $4,000 or $5,000 a month for affiliate side of things. But don't forget, I have a whole team to pay for now. We've got wages, we've got tools we use, full-time videographer, full-time editor, full-time channel manager who's stepping down, consultants. Like, there's all sorts of stuff going on. So it's not like it's a one-man band. Everything I own, everything I earn, I get to pay to myself. It's not like that. It is a proper business at the moment. So where do we get to on my list of things to do on my to-do list? Here we go. An interesting one. Just an update here on asking for subscribers. This is one I mentioned in like a previous video, maybe 2 or 3 podcasts ago, about some of the guys in our tech group were saying, hey, if you open up your video and just say, by the way, 95% of you watching aren't subscribed, so if you could subscribe, then please do, and, like button and subscribe and those kind of things. And that dramatically increased their subscribers. Now, I've only done it in like 1, maybe 2 videos. So it's very early days, and I haven't actually gone and check and see how that's impacted things yet. However, the one thing I did notice, there was one comment, and I know this is like taking it out of context, but one comment from all the other comments, but it was interesting and just shows you, the type of people you come across on the YouTube comment section. One comment saying that, no, I am going to watch this video and enjoy watching all the content like I do, all the other YouTubers that I watch, but I'm not going to subscribe because something along the lines of like, you're rich enough already, you don't need the money, or something like that. And it was just, I read that and just like, how like uneducated are you about how this whole like world works? But like, I don't expect them to understand that and know it, but it's just interesting seeing the opinions. And, there's loads of controversy at the moment. Let's talk about that one. There's loads of controversy at the moment on YouTube, and I just found that it was very interesting that that's like someone's take on how YouTube works for them. So yeah, I will leave it at that for that one. So there is two more left now. So going back to helping people via Discord. So I'm jumping around a little bit because I keep going, oh, I remember that. So helping, so I was messaging someone on Discord, gave him all the figures and, the things we just ran through. And his response was just like, oh, dude, thank you so much for helping. Like, honestly, you're like one of the only people, probably the only person I think he said that actually bothers to reply and provide help and guidance and those kind of things. And I always like reflecting on that because for me, as I did with my IT company, as I did with the coaching, technically as I did with the YouTube stuff to start it off with, like, I get a kick from like helping people, and I don't care like what I give away. Obviously like confidential data and like embargo things I'm not allowed to talk about. Like legally speaking, the stuff I'm not allowed to talk about, I won't talk about it. But I just like helping people. Like, why wouldn't you want to help people? It's one of these weird worlds where you feel like you have to keep everything really close to your chest and not help people, and not exchange contacts and not exchange like information that could then help somebody else. I'm a big believer of the whole like rising tide floats all boats, regardless of which area of my industry I'm in. And I'm very much I don't know what I'm doing type person, but I'm here to learn as well. So, if what I've got helps you learn something, then amazing. And if I can get something back as well, then as in like, if I can learn some information back as well, either from them or from somebody else, like I'm just a sponge. I think the more you learn, the more you realize that you don't know anything. And so I just try and learn as much as possible. And I'm always open to like being wrong, because if I'm wrong, then I want to know that I'm wrong and I can adjust it and not be wrong in the future and, not make those mistakes. So just well worth being aware of those as well. But yeah, if again, like that's why this podcast exists, to help new creators or YouTubers or people who are just interested in behind the scenes of what running a YouTube channel is actually like. So yeah, that's part of me. I just like helping people because it's fun. And last up, just said it again. There's a couple more things. One very quick comment with the update on the change to a new agency. So I've got an agency that looks after me for my brand deals and stuff. Although, we are trying to do CES, the double whammy. I'm trying to speak to the brands I know, and they're going for the brands they know and the new people approaching them. They just made a comment that it was easier to sponsor Apple content. And I just found that interesting because to me, in terms of the like performance side of things on the channel, the Apple content can be very up and down in terms of views. Like, for example, my switching from Android to iPhone videos, I don't know, it's done maybe like 30,000 views or something. But flip that around and my switching from iPhone to Android videos done way more views. Likewise, my iPhone 16 review has done way less views than my S24 Ultra videos or my Pixel videos or like any general Android videos. Even like the Monitor videos perform better than a lot of the time than the Apple content. So it's really hit and miss for me on the Apple side of things, even though I know there are big channels that just focus on Apple, and those ones do perform very well because, obviously that's a very specific niche. You just stick within the Apple ecosystem bubble. But yeah, found it very interesting that they were like, yeah, well, Apple content is easier to find sponsors for. I guess because it's just, there's so many more brands out there making products for Apple products. But also, I kind of disagree because there's also a whole ecosystem world of Android products and, smart home tech and the whole Matter stuff now. Aqara, Govee, all these smart home products will now talk to any platform you're on, regardless of whether it's Apple ecosystem or Google ecosystem or Home Assistant or, whatever you're using. So just thought I'd throw that one in there. And then to finish off, just addressing there's some weird like controversy doing the rounds on internet and just YouTube in general. MKBHD is the one that's getting a lot of it at the moment. Quite rightly in some respects, and wrongly in another respect, and it's also quite funny a lot of the time. So MKBHD launched a wallpaper app a few months ago now. It was a bit of a disaster because he was trying to charge $50 a year for access to the wallpaper app. They were like, and one of the wallpapers was like the color orange, not really like something you want to pay $50 to get, just a plain color orange, which you can just go and do yourself. And someone like got into the app within minutes and found that the wallpapers were all just linked to an unencrypted Google Drive, found the Google Drive link and downloaded all the wallpapers and posted them online. So he had to address all of that stuff and addressing the fact that he hasn't run this kind of business before and this is very new to him still. So he's trying to learn along the way. And then in the most recent controversy was that he made a video. There's two of them actually. Yeah, he made a video where he was in the video he drove a car, he drove it like a Ferrari or something, and he was driving 96 miles an hour in a 30 mile per hour zone, like a school zone, because people were seeing that they blurred the speedometer out on the dashboard, but then didn't blur the second speedometer out, which apparently Ferraris have on the passenger side of things. So everyone could see how fast he was going. Funnily enough, he blurred the speedo out on the dashboard when it went above like 30 miles an hour, so you could see like the numbers increasing, and then suddenly the blurry picture goes up so you don't see it, but it was over the other side of the car, so you could still see it. And then out the window, you could see it said like slow down, school crossing, like children's signs and these kind of things. So everyone's just basically jumped to the conclusion of he was driving like outside of school, almost 100 miles an hour. And to make matters worse, Marquez updated the video to then say, I've removed that driving scene from the video because it added nothing to the video. And then it's like, it didn't add nothing to the video. It was like completely illegal. It's what happened. And so he then eventually went to post a apology tweet on Twitter or X or whatever it's called. So then that happened. And what was the other one? And the most recent one, I'm not sure which way around it was, is he posted a video that was something titled like how videos are changing on my channel, or how I'm going to change shooting my content on my channel or something. And it basically turned out to be a fully dedicated sponsored video to the new, is it Insta360 or DJI? There's like an action camera. And it's interesting seeing how this stuff is done by the bigger creators, because for me, I'm very aware when there's a sponsor, there's a brand involved, like if I've received free products, or like I'm very aware of declaring that in the video itself, in the description of the video, ticking the box in YouTube to make sure it says paid sponsor, like all that kind of stuff that we have to do because of either it's like UK law, the FTC guidelines, which we have to abide by because our audience is in the US, so we have to abide by the FTC laws as well. So we're doing all this stuff, and yet I see in a lot of the time with like the Marquez's content and like other big, like, I'm not like putting this all on Marquez, that it feels like those things aren't addressed. And particularly as someone who's been doing it for many, many years, and I feel has a big team that should be able to address all this stuff, it feels like very scrappy, because this video, I don't think it was declared it was a sponsored video. It was very much like oh, hey, welcome to the video. Yeah, things are going to change in this channel, and we're going to do more first-person views, and like, oh, just so happens we've got this action camera thing. And there was no like bold and obvious statement that this is a sponsored video. And in a lot of the situations, I actually start off those dedicated videos with this video is sponsored by and then get into the video. And so it's worth noting that, because a lot of people seem to be doing this. They seem to, and for the ads that I've seen Marquez run for like Ridge Wallet and for 8 Sleep, he's done a few as well, which is the bed mattress cover thing to keep you warm. He kind of finishes his video, and then he'll make a very organic link into the sponsorship for, and I enjoy sleeping too, and then here's the bed thing. But still there's no mention of a sponsorship until it's like the very, very end, where it's like, and because we've teamed up with them, we've got a discount for you. But they're still like, and maybe he'll mention at that point, this, we teamed up with them and they've sponsored the video and what have you. But again, as far as I was concerned, the FTC guidelines are you have to declare this very, very like upfront, like before anything happens, audibly, verbally, visually, like it has to be like unmissable for somebody to know that, hey, somebody has paid me to say this in this content. So yeah, we are very aware of that. It doesn't seem other big creators are very aware of that. And again, going back to what I've said before, people are trying to like actively avoid sponsorships and mentions and any form of association that they've been paid to say something, essentially. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there, because that, again, is 33 minutes and 55 seconds. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, bye-bye.